Now, the concept of deselecting everything is something I do in my videos quite often. You might want to use it yourself to kind of clear out any selections you might have made. For example, if we select some of these items by clicking on them, or lassoing them, or clicking again, you might want to deselect all of them in one shot. Of course, you can just select one of them, then deselect one of them with a modifier to do that. But we could also use a keyboard shortcut to do it. In the same way for our tracks. We could select all the tracks, maybe deselect all of them. We could do it with a keyboard shortcut instead of having to select one and deselect it again. And we might want to do the same thing for any time selections we have or loop points. By default, we could do that with escape, but we might want to do it all in one action. Let's go to the Actions menu, Show Action List, and type into the filter Unselect. There's an action right down here that's going to unselect or clear selection of all tracks, items, or envelope points. So we can add a keyboard shortcut to this by hitting Add. I'm going to use a bunch of modifiers along with the U key. But of course, you can use any keyboard shortcut you want. Hit OK. Now if we select some items, maybe lasso them, select some tracks, and we want to clear all this, just hit that keyboard shortcut, and they all go away, back to nothing being selected, or deselecting everything. But with that action, it's not going to clear any time selections or loop points we make. As you can see, those still stay. So to add in all this, let's clear keyboard shortcut for this one and create a custom action starting with this action. Go to New Action, New Custom Action. Let's name it Unselect All. Let's add some keyboard shortcuts to this. To deselect or unselect our tracks, items, and envelope points, let's type in the filter Unselect. And we could also add in time selection, remove or unselect time selection, and loop points. Let's put this over here. Let's also add in any razor edits we might create. Right over here, clear all areas, drag it over, and now all these actions are going to be performed using this one keyboard shortcut. Let's consolidate the undo points and give this a keyboard shortcut. Hit Add. I'll use the modifier in the U key, but again, you can use any keyboard shortcut you want. And I also like to do is change the scope from normal to global. This way, no matter what's in focus, this keyboard shortcut will still work. Hit OK. And now, if we select our items, hit that keyboard shortcut, it clears. Select our tracks, hit that keyboard shortcut, that clears. Create a time selection or loop points. Let's add in some items as well, along with some tracks. Let's create some envelope points. And we can deselect all of this at once using that keyboard shortcut. And everything becomes deselected, including those envelope points. And because we added razor edits to this, let's select some items. Let's create a razor edit area like this. Let's select some tracks too. Hit that keyboard shortcut. And all that clears or deselects as well. So just about everything that we might have selected becomes unselected with one keyboard shortcut, which I find helpful to clear the deck so we're starting from scratch. And sometimes I'll add in a screen set. As we can see, I have this set up as my home base, which is how I see my track heights, the width of these items. So by calling this my home base, I could save it as a screen set. So we go up here to the View menu, go down here to Screen Sets and Layouts. We could choose the track views, and right over here, we could save a screen set. We could save it using Shift F4 by default, and recall it hitting F4. So if we're happy with how this looks, just hit Shift F4. This opens up. We could choose the parameters we want to save with it, save it. Now we can recall that at any point. Let's zoom in horizontally and vertically, hit F4. It jumps back to my home base. Now we can combine this action, but only if you want, to the custom action we created. Right here. We'll choose to edit the action, type in here, load 1, and we could choose to load in the track view of screen set 1. Drag this as well, save it. Now it's going to be saved and triggered from the same keyboard shortcut. So now we can select some items, select some tracks, create a time selection, maybe zoom in vertically or horizontally, or scroll to the right or left, and just hit that one keyboard shortcut. Everything jumps back to the home base and deselects everything. Again, giving us a great starting point to continue editing our project. But of course, you can leave the screen set off if you prefer, and use it as separate actions to just clear or deselect everything and get back to our home base using screen sets using different keyboard shortcuts. But if you want them together, we could do it just like this. Create our time selection, zoom in vertically and horizontally, hit that keyboard shortcut, triggers the action, which deselects everything and zooms in exactly to our home base. So that's pretty much it. That's how to deselect everything in Reaper. I hope you learned something, hope you could use it, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.
Bingo, boys, let's go.